what all we're going to be working on today. So welcome, welcome. And I'm excited that you are here. Right now, I am going to just jump to the main screen. So for those that are on LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube, hi everybody on here. Today is going to be an express version of Embrace Your Crown. Right now, I am at the Black Beauty Expo in Atlanta, and I did not want to miss this opportunity to celebrate you and celebrate First Sunday with Embrace Your Crown. Okay, so if you are new, Embrace Your Crown is a three-book series, and those three books are going to be on your screen. If you are on LinkedIn, TikTok, and all that, you can see the QR codes. I know it's a bit loud in here, so you may not hear me all that well, but I wanted to make sure I do this. So, what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about how you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay? And I may have to go outside to finish this because I want you to be able to hear this. So, I am going to just pin that so you'll have the three books that are accessible to those that might be on TikTok. And those that are here, you can see the QR code. So, what are we going to be talking about, and why did I create this series? Real quick, I'm going to go outside because they just got so loud in here. So, hold on one second. I'm going to just go to the front. I'll be but if it'll work, I can get for real. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take you to the front because it's a little loud in here, and I want y'all to be able to hear. Hi, everyone. I'll be right back. Hi, everyone. So, if you are joining me, then you probably know this is Embrace Your Crown. Y'all, I had to move because it was just too loud up in here. They just started a show. I'm at the Black Beauty Expo in Atlanta. And I want you to be able to hear me for Embrace Your Crown. I do this every first Sunday. So wherever I am, I try to be consistent, even if I am out of town. And today I'm in Atlanta. So after I finish this, then I will be ultimately going back in and finishing up this show. But I wanted to do Embrace Your Crown because this is important, y'all. In this show, we're going to be talking about how you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay. I'm pretty sure that sounds a whole lot better, right? So we'll go this direction so you can see the hallway. So if you've never been to this convention center, this one's out here by the airport. And I'm having to kind of like jimmy this up a little bit. All right. So I think y'all can see me now, which is great. So I'm author Kay Lee. I'm also known as Dr. Crystal Lee. So if you know me from, speaking, teaching, being a professor, things in that nature, this is what I do. Many people have asked, Crystal, are you a life coach or do you do mentorship? And I say yes. And the mentorship program that I typically offer and I do is Embrace Your Crown. Okay. So these are the three books in the series. The first one is the purple one. The second one is the one with the blue sky. And the third one is the white book with the gates. And ultimately, I wrote these books so that you can know how to embrace who you are, where you are, and honestly have some kind of accountability for what goals you have set and having someone ultimately in your corner to help you get there. All right. So I used to be a person that honestly had all of the things going on in these books. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the books. And then ultimately, we're going to get to the conversation and the discussion. So, in the first book, I essentially talk about how you can open up seven gates to find and overcome heartbreak. What I have found is a lot of us are struggling with different things that have shaped our ideas of ourselves and how we feel and how we interact with others. And these are the seven gates that I found that I had to open so that I wasn't living in survival mode constantly and missing out on what was supposed to be for me. Right. So if you believe like you want something out of life, maybe you want to get married, maybe you want to start your business, maybe you want to get published, maybe you want to lose weight. Like all of these things are part of your goals, and no one gets to tell you what those are. You get to determine what you want to focus on. And my job as a coach and things of that nature, really as a human and as a mentor, is to help you to discover what natural gifts and talents you have that is part of your purpose and stuff you cannot and you don't want to leave earth with not doing. So my job is to say, how are you doing with that? Each month, every first Sunday. And the seven gates that I introduced in this book is time, purpose, patience, patterns, wants and desires, atmosphere, and lifestyle. And then ultimately, I end the book with how do you transform and go beyond change in these seven gates? Okay. So if right now you are battling with how you spend your time, who's getting the most of your time, if you feel like you're wasting time, I want to let you know that time is irreplaceable, but it can be redeemed. So if you feel like I've lost time, it's too late for me, there's nowhere for me to go, I want to encourage you that that's not true. Okay. There is somewhere for you to go. There is somewhere for you to be, and your life is not over. If you're still breathing, yes, it can change. You know, when you're younger, you might have the energy to run around, skip, and do everything. And then as we get older, we may not be able to run the same way, but we can encourage others. We can mentor. We can become consultants. There are other ways you can use your gifts and talents to be able to fulfill your purpose, even if it looks different. Okay. So I want to show you that patience. Sometimes we're too patient with our problems. Sometimes we're too patient with people, and we don't allow ourselves time to heal or to grow because we're so concerned for everyone else that we have little time or little patience with ourselves. So if you feel like you have yourself on a thin rope, if you feel like right now, if you want to slap somebody, it's yourself. I want to encourage you, don't beat yourself up because you need you to survive. Okay. And it's okay if you don't like where you are, but let me help coach you or mentor you or encourage you that it's not over. I know it might feel like it is sometimes. And if that's where you're at, that y'all. So yeah, so if that's what you're going through, I definitely want to encourage you on that. Okay. And then you, of course, have patterns. These are things that you do naturally. Okay. Nobody's got to tell you to do this. This is just something that is inside of you. Maybe it's a learned condition, is a way of explaining it. I know some of us say, I never want to be like my mom or my dad. And then 5 years later, 10, 20 years later, we look up and we're doing a lot of the same things. That's because patterns are shaped by what we experience and what we see and what we learn, whether it is intentionally or unintentionally, right? And so, if you want to overcome these patterns in your life, you're going to have to reroute how you think. I would dare say that a spiritual influence, knowing God, will help redeem you from falling into these traps and how you can ultimately change your life for the better. So, if you are in a trap in that sense, I had to honestly break the pattern of abuse, break the pattern of accepting what was not good for me and not fair to me. I had to start realizing I had just as much value as those I love and care about that were abusing me or misusing me. So I want to encourage you in that way. And then your wants and desires. What do you want out of life? And are your wants and desires lining up with what's best for you? Sometimes we want to be married, but we desire people that are toxic because this is what we're attracted to, or this is what we know, or this is what we think we can afford, or what we can attract. And I want to encourage you that your wants and desires need to line up. And it needs to line up, I dare say, with what the good Lord has for you. He says, no good thing will he keep from you. So if you are not experiencing a good thing, it's time to start rerouting how you determine what is good, especially if it's not been good to you. Okay? And then ultimately we get to atmosphere. Atmosphere is the people around you. Who is in your circle? Who are you listening to? Who do you give permission to speak into your life and over your life? And how are those people shaping you? And if you don't like where it's going, sometimes you got to leave Egypt, right? That's a saying. And the saying basically means that sometimes you got to move out of your house. Sometimes you got to leave the state. Sometimes you got to turn off your phone. And I don't mean that you know, in a bad way. I mean that in like, hey, look, I need to take a mental break, or hey, look, I need to work on myself. So right now, I'm not going to be doing anything for anybody else, but working on me for the next 3 months. And people that love you will say, okay, I understand. I've had people do that to me. And I missed them during that 90-day period, but I knew she had to do this for herself. And when she came out, she was strong, she was bold, she was loving, she was kind, she was focused. And so sometimes when we need to change our lifestyle, which is the next one, the next gate, we have to look at where is our atmosphere and where are we honestly rooting ourselves. And that's what will help break up our lifestyle. Sometimes our lifestyle is a created lifestyle, it's really a created existence we want to leave for ourselves. Right? People will think sometimes that their lifestyle is who they are. But truthfully, your lifestyle is what you make. All right. So if you have a lifestyle of spending and splurging money, it's a lifestyle, right? But the truth is that lifestyle is not who you are, because if you don't have the money, then what do you do? You know, so you got to understand that you are bigger than your lifestyle, and lifestyles change. Okay. So it might be your lifestyle to live a certain way, but it doesn't always have to remain that way, for the bad or sometimes even for the good. So you got to learn to love who you are for real. So if your lifestyle is temporarily altered, it doesn't make you feel less valuable. All right. So those are the seven gates. And this one, I know it's a lot of gates, right? This is why I didn't put all the gates in one book, because it is a lot of content. I know I'm going through these very high level. If you do want to get into my mentorship program, you can go to embraceyourcrown.com, all spelled out, and you can join the mentorship program where I can break down each chapter and ultimately coach you through it through a private group. This right here is more of a free coaching session that I give for those in support of the series, the books. So if you have the books, this is going to be very helpful and it will keep you moving forward. But if you want me to mentor you, that's how you can get into that mentorship program. Okay. Um, Next one is how to open five gates and overcome unbelief. Because what I realized is once you find out what's breaking your heart or broke your heart, now you need to believe you're worth more. Right now, you need to believe for more. Now, you need to realize, like I say in chapter one, you don't need magic, you need power. All right. If you want to change your life, you need power. So I want to show you how you obtain power in that very first chapter. The next thing I want to talk about is how to make room for miracles. You make room for miracles by being obedient and consistent in new behaviors and new patterns. All right. So to say you believe and lack the follow through is not really belief. If I say I believe I am amazing, but I keep talking negatively about myself, I won't invest in myself. I won't tell anybody anything good things. I will keep them all to myself. I will stay pent up and frustrated, and that is not, healthy, right? And over time, you might become the loudest voice and sometimes even the most toxic. So I want to encourage you. You got to make room for miracles by believing for them and also making room for it. Okay? Making room is showing up even when it may be difficult for you. For you, showing up for you. All right. The next one is you want to know the promise. And I want to even extend that to say, know the promises of God concerning you. When you were, before you were born, and in your mother's womb, the Father appointed you, He knew you, and He made you for a purpose. I know when we get to earth, people could say, man, you were an accident, or I wasn't planning for you, or I don't know X, Y, and Z. And I want to encourage you, if that is what you've been told, or if that is how you have felt, that is not the intention God created you for. There is greater that He wants and will do if we allow Him to work through us. And I dare say you don't want to not do that. Allow Him to speak through you and raise you up, because that is His plan. His plan is to take you from glory to glory, for you to be set free, for you to be liberated, for you to be redeemed by His power, which is the renewing of your mind and the learning self-control over your emotions and your mental thoughts. Okay. And then giving you the will to do right and to want to do right and to thirst for the good. I know a lot of us may thirst for what we're used to, and a lot of us are used to trauma. A lot of us are used to people being negative. And one of the chapters in this book is kick negativity, because we have to do that. You have to kick negative thoughts, negative ideas, even sometimes negative people out of your life. And it doesn't mean permanently, because some people you can't get rid of, right? Their family. But you can distance them and create healthy boundaries for you. And then when it's the right time to reintroduce them into your life, that's when you do that. And if that time doesn't exist for a while, be okay with it being a while. They'll be all right. You'll be all right. And the thing is, you got to get better. We can't help anybody out of the mud when we're still in it. Okay. So get yourself out of the mud. And then once you do, you'll be strong enough standing on solid ground to reach back and help someone else. Okay. The another one in this one is dare to dream. You got to dare to dream and dream big. Don't dream these little simple, easy dreams that you can do in your sleep, because it's not challenging. The Father is not afraid of a challenge, and you don't want to be afraid of a challenge. You will call for greater things and greater works, and you won't get there if you are planning and thinking too small. All right. It will frustrate you. It'll make you feel like you haven't done anything. And that's really because you haven't really tested the boundaries. All right. So don't be afraid to dare to dream big. There's a lot more in that chapter, of course. But again, these are high level statements that help you see where you are in the Embrace Your Crown series. And if you need mentoring in these areas, let's dive deeper. Okay. Take courage and work. All right. That's the last one in here before we go to transform and go beyond change. So that is a chapter to reiterate how to bring these things into your life and to go through them. All right. So if you're struggling on how to take courage, if you don't know how to use your voice, if you are afraid to speak up for yourself and things in that nature, if you don't believe you can, I want to challenge you to start with this book and overcome unbelief. All right. So yeah, so if you have seen the pin, I'm pretty sure you probably see it on TikTok. Feel free to go through the books, find the right one for you. If you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, or Facebook, and all the other apps, feel free to scan the QR, save it, take a screenshot, and use it later. But definitely use it to access additional details. This website is embraceyourcrown.com, all the way spelled out. Embrace Your Crown. Take a screenshot, put that in later. You can also get access to the books and the mentorship programs directly on the website. Okay. Now, this is the final book in the three-part series. And this one, there's only 3 gates, but there are a couple of chapters, and I want to list them for you real quick. All right. This one's about sharpening your focus. All right. So if you've been doing stuff, or if you are honestly distracted, if you've been falling for decoys, things that you thought was what you prayed for, thought was what you wanted, thought was what you needed, but it ended up being a trick or it's not working out, it's time to go to sharpen your focus. It's time to sharpen your focus. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for both of us. It's not just women, men too need this book in this series. All right. So what's in this book? First, you have to seek, you need to know what you're seeking first. I say seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. Because when you seek out what is good, it will help you to determine what is best. All right. Best for you, best for life, best for others. Sometimes letting people go is the best thing for you and for them. All right. Don't make apologies for that. Don't make apologies that you have to set boundaries because it's in your best interest and theirs. They'll get it. And if they don't, we got to be okay with them not getting it. Okay. And then we get to where's your beginning? You got to know where your beginning is. Where are you starting? Let's be honest of where we're starting. Are we starting full of confidence? Are we starting weak and weary? Are we starting with something that's working or something that is broken? All right. And when we know what is working or broken, that's when we can start making adjustments. Okay. The next thing is, what do you believe? What do you believe about what you want? What do you believe about what you deserve? Do you believe you're doing it for nothing? These things right here shape your effort. All right. If you put little effort in, you're probably going to get little results out. And the truth is, you can put all your effort in and still get little results back in the beginning, right? Results are not necessarily dictated by your efforts. Sometimes they're dictated by your consistency. So don't give up because you don't see it immediately. Some things take time. All right. Just like plants growing in the ground, it takes time for them to catch up with what is happening above the surface. All right. So let it grow. As they say, let it cook in this generation. So some of us are cooking and it's okay. Let it simmer, let it do what it do, and you'll see it eventually. All right. The next thing I want you to do is adjust your focus. I just mentioned it. It's one of the gates in the book. This is actually the first gate. If you realize your life is not going in the right direction and it's time for you to get back, honestly, focusing in, you need to readjust your focus. Sometimes that means reanalyzing your priorities. Sometimes your life is not really focused on what you want to prioritize. Yes, we still have to do life. We still can dream. We still have families, maybe children, a spouse that we got to deal with or take care of, not in a negative sense. So what do you want to do? You want to prioritize the things you need to do for yourself when everyone else is sleeping or when people are working. Maybe you got to get up 30 minutes early so you can dedicate that time to God. Whatever you need to do to make room for what you're believing for, what you're liking, so you can make miracles, right? The Father touches what you're doing naturally and make it supernatural. But if you're not doing anything naturally, what is he going to bless with supernatural power? Nothing, because you're not doing anything that he can touch. So allow him to touch things. All right. And then when you're doing bad things, the enemy loves to touch what you're doing and make it worse. So let's readjust our focus to see if what we're doing is good, if it's toxic, if it's working, if it's failing. We got to look at it and honestly sharpen our focus on that. Another thing is you want to remember what you did before. This is twofold. All right. Remembering what you did before could be remembering what you did right. It could also be remembering what you did wrong. Because sometimes we're making mistakes and we're paying for it on the back end. So if you find yourself remembering, oh, shoot, I did this and it failed, or oh, I did it this way last time and it didn't work, I want you to understand that all of these things are going to impact you, right? And they can show you something about yourself and your journey. All right. Yes, there's a whole lot to unpack in that gate, but I want to make sure that I am giving you the high level. So if you want to dive deeper in this book, grab the book and then join the mentorship program if you need it at embraceyourcrown.com. All right. Next thing, you want to put it all on the table. That's the third gate. Put it all on the table. I know sometimes we might say, well, I'm going to hold myself back, or I'm going to hold my ideals back, or I don't want to give it all to God because if he doesn't do it, then I feel like a failure, or I don't want to try for what I really want. I'm going to try for what I know I can accomplish. I don't really want to go for the guy I'm playing for. I'm going to go for the guy that wants me. Or same thing with a woman. I would encourage you, don't do that, because you'll end up settling for people or a person or a thing or a business or a lifestyle that is beneath you, what's in your best interest. And there is greater things, greater works that the Father wants to do in your life, but you got to be able to position yourself to believe for it. The Bible says if we pray amiss, meaning we pray with doubt, then we are double-minded and unstable in all of our ways. So it makes you unstable. It makes you unfocused. It makes you disheveled. It means a lot of things. There's a lot more in this book. But again, I can't go through every little detail in the book. I want to, but this is what the mentorship program is for, is to go through these 3 individual books and get these gates and understand them and be able to apply them to your life. And so I encourage you to go to embraceyourcrown.com or click on the pins for TikTok shop, or also use the QR code if you would like to grab them on the other platforms. Jacob, how you doing? So yes, Embrace Your Crown is here. So I'm gonna just show that real quick. So welcome, welcome. What we're doing today, just so you know, is the name of topics. Well, the topic for today is essentially how to enjoy the fruits of your labor. One of the things I think we all can struggle with is celebrating ourselves when we see people around us hurting, right? Whether we see people around us failing, whether we see people around us trying to figure out what's best for their lives and fumbling the ball, we feel or they feel, and they're leaning on us. I want you to be very real with yourself. I want you to think about what you need to do. Because what you're going to find is if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know where to place your focus, other people will tell you what to focus on. They'll tell you, you need to focus on helping me. You need to focus on giving to this. You need to focus on spending your life doing that. And if that's not what you want, though, then I don't want you to accept something in this season that is not part of what you were building. All right. So in my life, I know for me, I wanted to build a life where I could love the Lord, serve the Lord, write books, pursue my dreams with my business, take care of my children, of course. And then I hope to have, get married, but it wasn't really high on my list. But I want to tell you, I always pray that, Father, if marriage is something you want from me, allow it to be according to your will and even according to my prayers, my wants and desires that I believe line up with the will of God for my life. So, yes, I know that the Father wants me to be with a husband that loves him. I know that he wants me to be with a husband. Thank you. I love that. He wants me to be with a husband that cares about my children and that will be honorable to me, and I'll be honorable to him. So whatever I'm expecting to, and to love me, I want to find someone who's able to replace that or be able to send it back when I'm giving to them. And I want to encourage you, if that's where you're at, where you're looking, not necessarily just for a relationship, but maybe it's a career. So if you're saying, well, I want to be in a career path where they're celebrating me like I'm celebrating them, because careers are twofold too. Like it takes both of us to make this thing work. Yes, you pay me, but I own my own intellect. I own my own talent. I own my own brain and my thoughts. And if I'm going to put them into your company, I need to believe in your message like you need to believe in my efforts. So you got to understand, you got to embrace who you are and realize what you've been working for. You went to college for this thing. So that means you need to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your money needs to match up with your efforts in education, your efforts in time. If you're willing to stay behind late, if you come in early, you want to find a company that will what? Celebrate you too. Because a paycheck is great. We all need that. We all need money to pay for things. The Bible says it's the answer to things. But we also need to have personal fulfillment. We also want to be respected. That's part of my first book. We shouldn't have to beg to be respected, acknowledged, or appreciated. That should be something people that love us and appreciate us do already. And so I want to encourage you, if you're a manager or a business owner, look at the fruits of the labor of your staff and consider how you can celebrate them this month. A lot of their children are going back to school on Monday. Is there something you can do, you can give, you can celebrate in them that can make their lives easier? Because as you show you care about them, they'll also show that they care about you, right? And so for those that are married, I want to encourage you, look at all the work you've been putting into your marriage. Look at all the work you've been putting into your your physical appearance, because it's important. It's not everything, but it is important. If you've been taking care of your hair, taking care of your health, trying to eat better, I want to celebrate you today. I want you to know that you're valuable. I want to remind you that what you're doing, people see it. Most importantly, God sees it. And he wants to say, look at my son or look at my daughter. They're doing so well. Look at how they love their wife. Look at how they love their husband. Look at how they're willing to what? Endure. Look at how they will, serve their nieces and nephews. Look at how they will give of their finances so that other people can have. Look at how they give their time through ministry. Look at how they're praying for folks. Look at how they worship me through how they speak about me and teach other people. And they bring a smile to life and to the world. They are a message, a beacon of light. You know that the Bible says those that bring the good news, they are like a ray of light, in a dark place, in a dark world, because his light casts out darkness. So if right now you're feeling low and depressed and down and out, I want you to look at the fruits of your labor. Look at the things that are working. Look at the things that were promised to you that the Father delivered on. And the stuff you're waiting for, don't give up on it. I want to remind you, this is not a time to give up. If you've been working all summer, if you've been pushing for your degree and you're in your last class or your last semester and you're wondering, can I make it? The answer is yes, and you will, and you shall. So don't quit, all right? I know the enemy will tell you it don't matter if you keep going. Yes, it does, because if it didn't matter, he wouldn't tell you don't. He wouldn't tell you it didn't, because the devil is a liar. All right, I need y'all to notice he is a liar. He is a devourer. He wants to steal your stuff. He's a thief. Okay. And he wants to destroy anything good from coming into your life. But the truth is, he can't do it unless we give him access. All right. So you don't want to give him access to be able to rule your world, impact your life. You want to be able to do the good fight and put up what you need to put up so that you can win. All right. So if you have been struggling, in this season, if you have been working in this season, most importantly, I want you to enjoy the good things that you've put up. I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, look, I'm not perfect, because you're not. None of us are perfect, but I have done this. I have done that through the power of God. All right. Or look at it another way. Father, you have been good. Sometimes we look at what we don't have or what we need, and we may not acknowledge what the Father has already done for us. We may not see that God has already showed up, that God has already said, I love you, that God has already said, I'm here. And so if right now you feel like, Lord, I need you to show up, I want to remind you that he is here, that he does want you, that he does care about you, that he is concerned about you. So if you've been feeling neglected, or honestly, like what you're doing doesn't matter because maybe you're getting unmotivated or maybe you're getting discouraged, I want to remind you to keep going. I want to remind you it's not over. I want to remind you don't quit. And I want to remind you to look at the fruit of your labor. All right. Fruit don't come because you just made it happen. Fruit comes because you were consistent in something. Fruit comes because you did work, like you sacrificed, you put in effort, and you were consistent in that energy. And I want to commend you because in this season, a lot of people are wanting to give up. And the fact that you're showing up, sometimes showing up is the least we can do, but sometimes it's the best thing we've done. When we show up, the Father can what? Renew our strength, right? So if you have, like today, if you came here and you're like, man, you're renewing my strength, thank you. I want to tell you you're welcome, because too often, what I'm saying, we see people that are impacting our lives, but we don't always get a chance to show our own gratitude. And so I want to remind you to give gratitude to the Father, give gratitude to yourself, and give gratitude to those you're thankful for. Don't wait for Thanksgiving to start being thankful. Don't wait till Thanksgiving to tell someone thank you, because then they question if it's the holiday or your genuine heart. Allow it to be clear that, Lord, I love you every day. I love you because you woke me up. I love you because you're God, even if I don't wake up. I love what, Paul said. He said, I learned to love the Lord when I had a lot, when I had a little, when I didn't have much, and when I needed something, when I wanted something, and when I had plenty. So if you're living in any of these capacities of life, I want to let you know the Father is here through it all. He loves you. He cares about you. He's concerned about you. And when you think he's not paying attention, let me tell you, he never sleeps. He never slumbers. And so if there is still more yet to be done, don't think your prayers don't matter, because the enemy will tell you they don't. Don't listen to the voices that might be in your atmosphere telling you you're not worth it. Believe for better. And notice I'm talking about all three of these books at the same time, because all three of these books are the gates, right? These are all our part of our makeup. They've been part of my makeup. They've helped me to grow through where I am and even where I'm going, right? Because we don't finish this race. We don't finish the work that God has in us until we leave this earth. And I believe the journey still goes because he's infinite, right? So even when we leave this earth, we still haven't maxed out of what the Father has for us. We're just transitioning to the next level he has for us. So if you have been made a new creature, allow him to continue to work on you. If you have not yet been saved, allow him to show you what true salvation is, which is a renewing of your mind. It's the ability for the Father to come into your heart and to show you his goodness, his faithfulness, his love and affection. And so if you've been missing that, if you have not had that, this is what a redeemer does. He redeems your time. He can redeem your emotions. He can redeem your will. If you don't have a will to live, he cares about that. He can redeem your will to do right, to do great, to do better. So don't give up. That's what I want to show you with enjoying the fruits of your labor. Keep going. If you're working on your book, if you're working on your business, if you're working on you, know that you're worth it. Know that you're able. Know that the Father sees you. Know that he's not leaving you. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I love what Jacob said. He said, this is good, y'all, on Facebook. I want to just be here to encourage you. This is about you. And I know sometimes when people say this is about you, they instantly try to turn it into you being a narcissist. That's not what I mean when I say this is about you. What I mean is that with you, through you, the Father can get his will, his word out to nations. He can get his will into your family. He can help rebirth something great in you. He can restore you. And as he restores you, he can make you a vessel of his honor, right? And not a vessel of dishonor or a vessel of confusion or a vessel of delusion or whatever you might have been before he got a hold to your life. And so I just want to let you know that he is here, that he's in the room, that he cares about you, that he loves you, that he sent his son to die for you, to redeem you, to set you free, to set those who have honestly are struggling with their own belief. They're struggling with their focus. They're struggling with different things that they thought would be easy, but now it's starting to become challenging. And so if right now you feel challenged and you know it's challenged on things you should probably not even be challenged on, but sometimes we're challenged to love ourselves. You might say, well, it shouldn't be hard to love yourself. You're you, but it is. Right? I've been there. It was a challenge to love me at one time. And pretty eyes and pretty hair and good jobs and nice cars and nice houses, that doesn't always make you love yourself. In fact, it can make you love the things you produce for yourself, but you're in love with the things. You're not in love with you. You're not in love with who you are. You sometimes don't even know who you are. And so I want to encourage you, embrace your crown, embrace where you are. You're good in the bad because the Father loves someone who can be honest. Because he can say, you know what? I can save you from that. Okay, you're struggling with a bad attitude. I can fix that. All right, you're real angry. No problem. Let's get to the root of why you're angry. Okay, you're frustrated. Why are you frustrated? What's wrong? Okay, you need resources, but are you able to what handle my resources? Or do I need to build you up a little bit more so when my resources come, you'll be able to what? Get everything out of it. Is it all right with you if the Father presses, you and your life to get the oil out of you? Right? Because the oil, that stuff, man, it brings nutrition, it brings life. It can just oil does so many things in our natural lives. Olive oil does a million and one things, right? And so all of these things are parts of your journey and your story. And it's not over. All right. This is a part and a step. The year is halfway over, yes. But guess what? There's still more life to live. There's still more months to go. There are still more things that can come into your life. I know something drastic that honestly, three things drastic came into my life this past 2 weeks. And I say drastic, I mean a syndicated radio station general manager came to me and wants to be a media partner. Drastic. I was happily single, raising my children and content with being alone. And then now marriage is on the table in a data set, like drastic. Okay. So when you say, well, Lord, I don't know if you could do it for me, baby, it was me 2 weeks ago. All right. It was me 2 days ago when I was like, Lord, did I spend my money on this vending event for no reason? Who am I looking for? It's not about how many people are in the room. It's about the right people being in the room at the right time. Don't look at how many people are supporting you. Don't look at how many people clap for you. Don't look at how many people like your post on social media. That stuff is not how you're going to get to where you're going to get to. The question is, does the Father like what you're doing? Does the Father touch and agree with your purpose and what you are aligning your energy and commitment to achieve and to do? And if that answer is a quick yes from the Most High, you best believe. He says anyone that puts their faith in him, their trust in him, will not be put to shame. So if right now you're putting it all on the table, you're like, Lord, this is what I believe you want me to do. This is what I have conviction to do. But Lord, I need you to bless me to move forward. I want to let you know he answers prayer. When I was stepping into this business, I had no career. I had no guaranteed checks. I still don't have a guaranteed check. Every month is new. I gotta tell y'all, every month he delivers. Every month he sends me new clients. Every month he sends me new leads. Every month, new things happen that remind me not to rely on what I thought I had to rely on, but to always rely on the Most High God. Because as long as I rely on him, he won't fail me. When people tell me they'll call me and they don't, I don't worry about it. Because I say, you know what, Lord, it must not be their season or their time. I might not be their purpose. I might not be who they need, but that's all right. The Father can use me to help point them to the person who they do need. And for me, that's a blessing in heaven. That's a jewel in my crown. So when someday the Father calls me home, I'm going to be decked, y'all. My goal is to leave earth empty. And so, yeah, I don't have no problem with celebrating people's businesses. I have no problem with promoting what someone else does. If they have a book and I have a book, I'm not afraid to put my book up. I'm not afraid for their book to be next to mine because I know what's for me is for me. I wrote a play on this because I believe in it. What Joseph had, no son of Israel or anybody could take. King David was a perfect mess up according to anybody's natural circumstances. But the Father says he's a man after my own heart. Who can I? What can we say? He says that you will always have a king on the throne, David, because I loved you. And guess what, Jacob? Because the Father loves you, he will always bless you in everything you do. And I'm on TikTok because the Father knows you, because the Father loves you, he will always have something in store for you. He doesn't run out. He's not worried about if you're going to make a mistake or if you live perfect. He knows you're not. But that's what the grace and mercy is for. That's what redemption and salvation is for. That's what conviction, restoration is for. And so these are the things that he's promised. This is why I say you got to know the promises of God. He knows we're going to mess up. But the question is, do you want to get it right? Do you have a will to get it right? And if you don't have a will to get it right, allow him to come into your heart, allow him to save your life so he can give you what you need to be able to be redeemed. Redemption is real. Salvation is real. Liberty is real. Freedom is real. Bondage is real. Depression is real. Okay. Feeling stuck, very real. Unmotivated, very real. Okay. And so if you're there, I want to let you know he can pull you out of there too. I mean, we all go through these cycles sometimes of suicidal thoughts, wanting to quit, wanting to give up, wanting to self isolate, wanting to shut ourselves off from the world. That's why I say open the gates, because a lot of us know how to close them. We live our lives with closed gates and we're unfocused. We feel unloved. We are struggling with belief. We're wondering if I deserve to be loved or cared about or people to be my friend or family. Sometimes our natural family are not the family we need in our lives in that way because they're not really there as a family. So your family is like the Bible says through the Messiah, who is my mother or my father, except for those that are what? A mother and father to me through Christ. Some of y'all, the best mother you're going to have is the one he sends you through Christ. Sometimes your best father is the one he sends you through Christ. Sometimes your brother and sister are those that know you and love you through Christ because they're not looking at you as you. They're looking at you through the lens of Christ. And that allows them to empathize with you, to be what? Not apathetic with your struggles, but to help you to honestly process through what you're going through. So I want to encourage you that in this program, in this month of August, all right, this is a renewing season and I want you to be renewed. I want you to realize that what you've been doing thus far, this whole year so far, is not a time for you to quit. All right. I want you to remember that this is not the time to say, I give up. I don't want to do it anymore. This is the time to say, Lord, show me how to double down. Show me how to give you all I got so that I can finish this year strong and get to where you want me to be. If we quit too early, if we kill our thoughts, our dreams, our ideas, or we allow thoughts to land in our hearts or our minds for too long, we will sacrifice things the Father never asked us to. Right? We'll give up on things he never told us to. We'll quit on people that need you to survive. And you need yourself to survive. And other people need your testimony to overcome. The Bible says we overcome by the hearing of each other's testimony. I love that a sister of mine, Serena, yesterday when I gave her my testimony, it made her run for me. Sometimes you need people in your life that will run for your testimony, that will run for your blessing, and not only want to be around you, hoping that what you got will become theirs, but hoping that what you have experienced they can see it in someone else. They can see it in their lives. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But learn to be happy for other people. Learn to allow other people's testimonies to bless you, because it's the evidence that God's not dead. We need to know that God's not dead. He's still a healer. He still restores. I have a new friend of mine, Monica. I love her, and she has a 2-year-old daughter. Her daughter is struggling, with a liver that was not working and has not been working since she was born, more or less. Do y'all know she got her liver transplant not even a month ago, and now she is out of the hospital. She is on her road to rehabilitation and doing great. Her recovery is working, thank the good Lord. So keep her in prayer, y'all. And she is a miracle, and her name is Miracle. Okay, so I want to let y'all know the Father's not dead. All right, it's not over. The year is not, I know it's halfway done, but don't stop believing and don't stop working for what the Father promised you and wants for your life. I know Jacob on Facebook said this, definitely had suicidal thoughts. That spirit can be killed. I'm a living witness on that. So some of y'all that honestly are going through suicidal thoughts, I'm a living witness that that spirit can be killed, because there were thoughts I said, things I wished for, that thank the good Lord, his mercy and grace covered me from. There were things I said, Lord, I wish I, was in a car accident so I can have a break, because it was overwhelming. Life was overwhelming. Life was lifing. I talk about it in this book, why I said it. Suicide is in this book because people may look at your exterior or look at what you have in life and say, well, you don't have any problems. You look great. You sound great. You got all of this. But let me tell you, I'm like this because I had to embrace my crown. I'm like this because the Father had to show me how to love myself. I'm like this because I used to think that this was the way, and now I realize it wasn't. I used to be, I'm telling you, I was unfocused. I didn't believe in me. And so now I do. And now I can help you and I can help you. And so this is what brings me joy. So like Serena ran for me, I run for all y'all. So I do want to know how you feel. I do want to know how this blesses you. I do want to mentor some of you because I know you need it. I know you want to. So if you do, you can go to embraceyourcrown.com. Okay. I'm going to put it up here. You can scan that QR code. You can join my mentorship program. If you do, it does include the books. So I believe it's every 8 weeks. So every 2 months, you will start a new book, and we'll go through each book chapter by chapter, more or less. So I can make sure you can make sure you understand the gates. That way you can teach these gates to other people and you can be a source of change, transformation, right? So I want to show you how to transform your life and go beyond change, because it's bigger than just making a change. It's all about transforming your mind, your will, and your emotions. And if you're ready to do that, I want to encourage you. I also want to give you a free gift. So if you're on here or on here, I want to let you know that you can, I'm going to put it up here. I want you to go to authorkaylee.com. And if you go to authorkaylee.com, there is a book on there called A Call to Pray. All right. It's a free book. All right. I'm going to show you it. I'm going to pin it real quick. So this is it. This is the website. It's authorklee.com. All right. On TikTok, authorklee.com. All right. So if you want my free book that will honestly help you to pray, it will go over what salvation is. It will go over what sin is, what the abominations, 7 abominations. No, yeah. He'll go over those. It'll go over the 7 deadly sins that we might be familiar with. If you are ready to give your life to Christ, if you're ready to become a new creature, if you demand a change in your life and don't know how to achieve it, if you're tired of being tired, if you're tired of your will to fail, you're tired of things not making sense, you're tired of honestly going in circles and don't know how to break patterns, okay? I want to show you how you can do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it for free. It's not about paying me for salvation. I don't believe in that. So get the free book. It is called A Call to Pray. It's on my page. Click it. The digital copy is free. All right. Get the digital copy, share it with your family. Go through these prayers. Pray this over your life. Pray this over your family. Pray this over your children. All right. Pray this over your dreams and over your relationships. If you're dealing with depression, sexuality, or issues of like that, they're in the book. All right. And they're meant to be prayed over your life. As a chaplain, I believe in prayer. I believe in the power of it. And I want you to be able to experience it and have it for your lives, have it for your family, and allow it to work. All right. So if I can make that happen for you or help to lead you in that, please allow me to pray with you. That's what that book is for. I am going to turn it into a audio version and video version. They will be coming. But if you do get the free version, you will get updates for that. All right. So go to authorklee.com and grab that free book. If you do want to be blessed further through this Embrace Your Crown series, feel free to go to embraceyourcrown.com. When you go there, you can grab the books, you can join my mentorship program, and I will be back next month, first Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern to do this again. Of course, the topic is different. So until then, y'all be blessed. Again, these are the three books that make up the series. This is the first book in the series. Okay. This is the second book. Yeah. And this is the third one. And so you can select whichever book you want to start with, and let's get it going. Let's change our lives. Let's open these gates and start working and walking in power. All right. I love y'all. Jacob, thank you for joining. And the others that were online here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Those of you on TikTok, you know I love you too. For those that follow me and all that good jazz, I appreciate y'all. And like and sharing, all that. Thank you. And I will be back with you next month. And until then, y'all have a blessed one. And I will be back again, I'm sure.